Well, with Aurora Empowerment Systems still battling to come up with cash it needs to pay for some of the liquidated assets of Pamodzi Gold, a rival bid's been made for the mines. A Chinese consortium has made an offer rumoured to be $50 million for the Orkney and Grootvlei mines. Joining me on the line now is Enver Motala. He's liquidator for Pamodzi Gold. Enver, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Well, Enver, what can you tell us about this offer? Are you giving it some serious consideration?
Well, what I can tell you is that the joint provisional liquidators have received an offer. The identity of the offeror cannot at this stage be discussed, as the offer specifically imposes a constraint and a severe constraint on the joint provisional liquidators in this respect, as the necessary regulatory approvals for the announcement has not been obtained from the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Furthermore, the quantum of the offer cannot also be disclosed at this stage, as the offer contains numerous conditions. The joint provisional liquidators will have to meet to discuss the offer, whereafter, of course, the major secured creditors, UniCredit Bank and the IDC, will be consulted. If necessary, the joint provisional liquidators will engage further with the offeror. In the interim, Aurora is still the preferred bidder, and the joint provisional liquidators and UniCredit Bank, in consultation with Aurora, are keeping a close eye on the timeline and regulatory approvals for Aurora's takeover of listed entity Labat, whereafter, of course, the funding from GEMS become unconditionally available to Aurora.
Okay, we're going to pick up on that in just a moment, though. So, I mean, there has been media speculation that it is a Hong Kong-listed company called TG Gold Holdings offering $50 million. That is just speculation at this stage. You can't confirm any of that at this stage.
Absolutely just speculation. We cannot confirm that at all. It's as I said, speculation.
Okay, just going back to Aurora, a couple of months ago they were supposed to come up with this cash. This has now been put out perhaps till the end of next month, also conditional on this reverse listing into Labat. How confident are you that Aurora is going to come up with the goods this time?
Well, we are pretty confident. As you know from media reports, my joint provisional liquidator, Mr. Gavin Gainsford from KPMG, and I travelled on 2 occasions now within the last couple of months to Germany, and we've had very, very fruitful and constructive meetings with the major secured creditor on the Eastern operations, the UniCredit Bank, previously known as HVB. On the last meeting, we were accompanied by Mr. Michael Hully, a senior director of Aurora, including Mr. Kulibusa Zuma. A timeline was tabled at that meeting, consisting of some 23 line items, commencing from the 12th of April and ending possibly on the 30th of July 2010. I must tell you that the first 5 line items on that timeline have already been complied by Aurora. We are very confident that this will be the necessary regulatory approvals from the JSE would be obtained at least by the 30th of July. However, we have made an allowance for any unnecessary or undue delays which may be imposed on this, possibly not from Aurora's side, but possibly regulatory approval delays. And to that extent, we have made provision for a timeline deadline until the 30th of August. But the good news is, as of earlier this week, is that Aurora have managed to secure some or other form of agreement with Labat, the previous owners of Labat. We are having a meeting tomorrow with R.K. Muller, who are the corporate advisors for this listing for Aurora, together with them in Aurora, and we believe that the timeline has been fast-tracked tremendously. So all things equal, it's possible that this timeline could be met even before the 30th of July, and there would not even be the necessity to have an extension. Of course, once the listing is approved or regulatory approvals obtained from the JSE, then Aurora's funds become unconditionally available from GEMS. And once that happens, they then take over these assets, and that hopefully would then be the
well, and if you just look back, this deal was struck in October last year. They were named as preferred bidder. And from October until now, I mean, nothing's been done. People have been walking off the job. People haven't been paid. AngloGold Ashanti cancelled a deal with the mine just a week or 2 ago. And there's problems with flooding. people starving on the mines, and this hasn't been a good news story. It's been a very bad news story.
It has, yes, it has, unfortunately, but as you know that Aurora's previous funders, Am Equity, pulled out of the deal. There has been some very severe cash flow constraints that Aurora had to deal with, and they have now, we believe, secured the funding from GEMS. We have checked GEMS out. We are confident that the funding, of course, will be available once the listing approvals are obtained. And having said that, we are still obviously negotiating with the new consortium that has put this offer forward. And as I said earlier, the offer is fraught with numerous conditions, and some of those conditions are onerous conditions, and we need to consider that very carefully.
Shouldn't you also consider, and if the speculation is right that it is Grant TG Gold Holdings, shouldn't you consider the fact that they may have some mining expertise, which is something that Aurora seems to be sadly lacking?
Yes, that is a point that we will consider very carefully. However, as I said earlier, that there are conditions that have been imposed on this offer that are very severe and very serious conditions that we need to consider very carefully. And having said that, without disclosing exactly what the offer price is, I can tell you the offer price is lower than Aurora's price.
Okay, Enver, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. But hopefully we'll be speaking to you with some good news soon. That's Enver.